It's shower time.
All right, so I'm here with Dave Garvin. It's Sunday, September 8th, and Dave, if you remember from one of my later videos, was a top amateur boxer. He was on the U.S. boxing team in the 80s, and he was also a former professional, and you had, what, 17 wins or 18 wins and no losses?
Yeah,
Then he got hit by a car, and that was the end of that. Me, on the other hand, I was a top amateur boxer and went to the Nationals every year with Dave, but I only had a few pro fights, and then I quit, realizing that I just wasn't going to make it. I had arthritis at that point, so I couldn't train. But anyways, after Dave got hit by a car, that ended his career, and here he is with me. So we're going to do a video. I want to say hi to Isabella and Eric.
Hey, Isabella and Eric.
And we are in New Bedford today. We're going to do a little thing on New Bedford. It's a whaling town back in the 1800s, 1700s, 1800s. New Bedford was a whaling town. This was a majority of the whales were killed, and the oil for the whales was used for lamps, and the blubber for food and different things, rubber and everything. So here we are. Dave's getting wet. That sounds like a problem, Dave. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk around. Right now we are at the New Bedford Historical Park for whaling. We're Whaling Park. Then we're going to go to the Whaling Museum. But for right now we are at the park. Now, I don't know if there's a lot to see here, but we'll see, right, Dave?
Check it out.
We got a fountain, so if nothing else, we got a fountain.
We got a free bath.
We got a free bath. Well, Dave's got a free bath anyway, so we'll be back in a bit. Okay, so Civil War's first black regiment. Near the spot in February 1863, a recruiting office opened to enlist men for the first black regiment authorized to fight for the Union cause. The men who volunteered here formed Company C of the 54th Regiment, Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry, the MVI. So that's where this was. So there's a lot of history in New Bedford, Dave.
Baptist minister, yeah.
Look at this guy. He's got the drum.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go over here and we'll see. Heroes of Fort Wagner. Fort Wagner was. We're going to be going to Fort Wagner. So that's here. Yeah, and there's the Black Regiment.
Must in the Company C, 54th Regiment, Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry. One of the recruits in the Bedford Sergeant William S. Carney Jr.
All right, well let's see. They got a nice little thing over here. I don't know what this is. Let's take a walk over here, Dave. They got the cobblestone streets for the horses that used to go. If people don't know, back in the day, they didn't have streets that were made of tar because the horses would dig the tar up, so they needed something tough. So they have cobblestone streets for the horses back then because they didn't have cars back in the early days. Not until Henry Ford, and even then, only the rich people had cars. This is a nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. 54th Regiment, now in Camp Reeville, bounty hunter, African descent, Colonel Robert G. Saw. Pay $13 a month, good food, clothing, state aid to families as long as you join the regiment. All right. Training in Camp Meigs, Massachusetts, $7 a month. $7 a month back then wasn't bad, buddy. In 1865. Yeah.
Yeah, at least they're getting
There's
paid.
another. Right there. I like these.
54 is a lot of history, huh?
Yeah. Yep. So let's take a walk over here. Be careful, Dave. This looks like something. I bet you this is the custom house.
Stone Street.
Custom house. Placing makeshift operation close to the waterfront. The U.S. Custom House at New Bedford opened on this site, Dave, right here. This is 1836. It is pretty neat, yeah.
It's actually the oldest customs house in continuous use as a customs house.
Really?
Believe it or not. It's still our custom house.
It's still a custom house.
Yeah.
Is it? And this is it right here?
Yeah.
Wow.
We joked about the fact that it has good bones too, don't you think? I mean, it's
This thing will be here well before, way after we're gone.
You know, it's the same. It's when Robert Mills. So that's the same as the Washington Monument and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, really? He designed it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's a lovely, lovely building. Unfortunately, it's always shut, so we can't get in it. But
Yeah.
it's a lovely building.
Oh, so do they plan on opening it anytime soon for
Well, it's
visitors?
a business, so you know.
Oh,
they
it's a
do
real
their own
business.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
You
Because
know.
it's still a custom house. So,
Yeah. We
yeah.
had a big joke about that a couple of years ago. I guess it was the last winter that it was kind of really cold, and there was a huge boat out in the harbor, and everybody was asking, "Where's it from?" It's from Morocco. And it's full of tangerines. I got all excited. I thought, "Oh, they're going to be cheaper this week, right?"
Right.
To bring them on. It wasn't for us at all. You know what the idea was?
What?
From here to Toronto,
Yeah.
it takes 1 day by truck.
Right.
But if you have to go up and around the St. Lawrence and
Yeah.
worry about whether it's frozen or not,
Ah, there you go.
it's a long time to
You
get
could have
to.
a bad, yeah. you
And
have
they
a-
were worried that the fruit would spoil,
right.
so they were bringing it in and the whole deal. So that's the kind
Oh.
of thing that happens here.
Oh, wow.
It's hard to believe, huh? Sometimes it's funny, you know, you're in Iceland and all of a sudden you see New Bedford. Hey, it's our fish.
Right, right.
You know.
Watch your step, Dave.
Thank you.
This was a bank. Let me see. Citizens National Bank. Now, this was an oldie. Of course, it's Freestones. I don't know what that is. It's for sale. Oh, it was a grill, city grill. And it was, back in the day, a bank. Right, Dave? Come on, Dave. Dave's my bodyguard. That's why he's here. That's why I take the kid with me. I need somebody to protect us.
That's right.
Dave. All right, this used to be the courthouse, believe it or not. Look at how small it is. And this is a city. 3rd District Court of Bristol. Bristol means Bristol County. This is Bristol County. We live in Plymouth County. He lives in it might be Norfolk County. No, he's in Bristol because, yeah, that takes in Bristol too. But this is the visitor center. Let's see what they've got. Oh, here's a nice ship. Here's a nice little boat, Dave. This was a whaling ship. They used to take these boats out, put them in the water, and go after the whales. That's what they did back in the day, in 1850. These are the whaling boats. This is the whale boat crew. And this is the whaling ship. This is how they killed the whales.
Unbelievable.
This looks like it was a post office, but I guess it was a courthouse. And here's what New Bedford used to look like in the harbor. Yeah, this is what it looks like now.
Jesus.
This is what it looked like then.
Ah,
Yep.
even back then, I was like that.
In the old days, casks of oil covered with seaweed covered every wharf along the waterfront of New Bedford. The leakage saturated the soil and the air was redolent with heavy odor from the oil. Another whaling ship there. And this is what they would do. They would drop the boats off of the whaling ship into the water and they'd go after the whales.
Unbelievable.
And the poor whales didn't know they were being hunted.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they didn't know. They were probably going up to the ship playing with it. All right. Let's go in here, Dave, and see what we've got going on. This Commerce of Whaling. This is New Bedford back in the day. This is it. This is the waterfront. This was the waterfront, Dave. So, whaling comes to New Bedford.
When it comes to the big.
We're gonna see plenty of this. Though the last successful whaling vessel sailed from New Bedford in 1925, the city's connection to the sea remains strong. Former whalemen stayed in the city long after the industry had left. Many found new jobs with a wide array of shore-based factories. Maritime industries continued to draw people to New Bedford. Norwegian immigrants arrived in the early 20th century to work in the scalloping industry. Yeah. children outside the shanties along the waterfront. This poor area of town was located at the foot of Potomac Street. And they had trolleys back then. Yeah. They got a movie in here.
My home, my art, my possessions that bind me to this earth result from discipline, duty, and hard labor. Every morning I balance my lectures.
I'll watch the movie. We won't watch the movie. Here's a cane. It's a very nice cane, I'll tell you that. It's a beautiful cane. What is it? This is a cane. 1889, gold handle and black enameled wood. Temple S. Corson, a Maine native, was an extensive wholesale and retail dealer in all varieties of coal. Well, this was his cane.
His cane?
They found his cane. Yeah.
The
The first whaling vessel launched from New Bedford in 1767, the Dartmouth, was one of the ships later involved in the Boston Tea Party. Wow.
unbelievable.
Huh.
My history there.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah, we don't normally keep a record of which pass goes to which person.
Okay, so we'll
Yeah, we you're free to do so. We have a record video that we started at 12:30. So, 15 to 2 hours.
I got books on whaling. Frederick Douglass. The African American was big for the whaling industry. Very big. Very big. Yeah. All right, Dave. Want to hit the next spot, buddy?
Yeah.
I want to drag you around all day long until you're exhausted, and then you'll sleep like a baby.
sounds fun.
Take care.
That's the custom house. They still use it today, so we can't go in there. It's a private business. Now I heard that there were a lot of rabbits around here.
A big rabbit.
I don't know. Yeah, I heard they were very large rabbits. Nice store. I even like the smell. It smells nice in here. Hot chocolate.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
good, how are you?
Not too bad. Walking around, seeing what we got in here. A couple of tourists.
Nice day to be walking around.
It is a beautiful, yeah, it's beautiful out actually. It's nice walking weather. Yeah. Oh, Dave, we got to keep you away from here. Here's where all the alcohol is. So here is the New Bedford Whaling Museum. We'll go in there in a little bit.
Mighty fishing industry.
Dave, you need some food.
No, mighty fishing industry. I need some whales.
Yeah. So this is the Mariner's Home, built in 1787. Whatever this house is, it looks old, even though it's little. All right, let's go across and see what this Mariner's Home is, Dave. Watch the cobblestones. I'll tell you what, these cobblestones were great for horses, but for human beings, they're not too great. There's a little bit of a tripping hazard. This is a nice house. I'll tell you what, they could build them back then. Nice. Let's see what's going on with it. Home away from sea. Whaling men spent much of their lives at sea. The ship was their home. So when they're back in port, most of the poor, unskilled sailors knew no one in the New Bedford area and were essentially homeless until the next voyage. In 1850, Sarah Roch Arnold, daughter of a whaling merchant, William Roch, donated her father's house to the shelter and feed needy seamen. After the whaling industry declined, retired whalemen, merchant seamen, and fishermen lived here. Well, that was awful nice of her giving that house, giving the house to the people.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and there's some whalers. A lot of the whalers were black. Yeah. Let's see. Get latitude, longitude. In case anybody wants to put the latitude and longitude in. Let me see. I wonder if we can go in there. Let me just see. Stay right here for a second, David. Let me hop up here. And a nice view up here anyways. Look at. Say hi, Dave.
Hi.
I don't know, I think it's still a house. But anyway.
We don't want to bring anybody's house.
We're no B&Es today. All right, Seaman's Bethel, a non-denominational church dedicated in 1832. New Bedford Port Society, the Women's Chapel. So this was the Women's Chapel. This is where they came to pray before they went out into the sea, Dave, because it was dangerous out there.
Yeah, right, right.
It was dangerous, yes. As a tribute of respect to the enterprising whalemen of New Bedford who imperiled their lives or perished in encounters with monsters of the deep. They poor whales, they call them the monsters. This tablet is placed here by the children of New Bedford in August 1st, 1930. 3 years after the last whaling ship left New Bedford, that's when they put this here. Yeah. Yep, really is. Come on over.
Isn't that cool?
We got a big chicken here, Dave.
Back.
We got a very big chicken. That sounds like a dog, but anyways, it's not a dog, it's a chicken, Dave. It's a chicken, okay? Oh. There we go. We got us all in the picture, including the multicolored chicken.
That's it, multicolored chicken.
Yeah. And we'll be going over this soon. Captain Paul Cliff Park. Yep. Captain Paul Cliff Park. The park. We're gonna go over the park. The park. And of course they have a whale up there, or a weather vane. They usually have chickens or roosters.
Alright.
But of course this is a whaling town. So they're going to have exactly. And that's the bar. All right, here's Moby Dick Brewing. Moby Dick Brewing. It's a restaurant, aka place where they brew beer. And of course it's named after the most famous whale of them all, Moby Dick. All right, let's see what we got in here. Maybe we can get something to eat. So this is what it looks like inside. This is Moby Dick Brewery, a restaurant. Thank you. Here's what we're looking at: scallops with linguine, clam chowder. Dave Garvin. Very nice. Jaws. I'm not going in this place. With a roof deck. Oh, they got a roof deck up there. Remember this? I didn't go into the water for like 2 years because of the shark.
What's that?
I didn't go into the water for 2 years because of that shark right there.
Wow.
Remember Jaws? The National Club Inc. Sounds like something the mafia would be in. Now, I wonder what the National Club is. Good. The National Club. This is the National Club. Looks like it's all closed up. Let's see what's in it. Oh, it's vacant.
Oh, vacant, empty.
All right. So this is the New Bedford Tattoo Company. If you want a tattoo, you'll pass. All right, let's go over by the water, Dave, and see what's over. Let's cross, Dave. Quick. Let's cross. We gotta make it. We're gonna make it, buddy. Oh, we're not gonna make it. Can we make it? You do all right?
Yep, fine.
All right.
We make it, bud.
All right. Okay, Dave.
Yeah.
We're gonna cross against the light, and if you get hit, your brother's gonna have me arrested.
Okay. I'll laugh.
All right.
Yeah, right.
All right. Let's all right. Let me see where we can go. We're gonna go surfing
Surfing with that person.
with a robot. Dear Ernestina Morrissey's Many Lives. She was docked across from you, which would have been over here. And that's what she looked like. Built in 1894 as F.E. Morrissey, the schooner first finished on the Grand Banks for cod, mackerel, and haddock. From 26 to 46, the vessel explored the Arctic. Museums, zoos, scientific groups. In 1948, Cape Verdean native Henrique Mendez refitted and renamed the schooner Ernesto Morrissey and ran supplies and packages regularly between Cape Verde Islands and the U.S. And in 1982, the newly independent nation of Cape Verde presented Ernestina Morrissey to the people of the United States in recognition of the long-standing ties between the two countries. All I want is the strength to go in my little schooner, for that is all I have. And when she stops, so do I. Captain Bob Bartlett, quoted in the New York Times, June 20th, 1938. And that's what the ship looked like. And it looks like it's stuck in the ice in the Arctic.
It's crazy, huh?
And back then they didn't have motors. Yeah, they just,
Imagine being out there.
yeah, it was really just all sails. Yeah.
Feel like that's right here.
And this is where she was anchored here. Where you can see still a lot of Portuguese fishermen. So you've got later at Fatima, you got Santa Isabel. Yeah, these boats, this is our outfits. It's still now, they don't do any whaling here anymore, obviously, but this would have been all boats, schooners for whaling. Now, it's all boats for fishing. All fishing boats come out of here.
Oh my God.
Queen of Peace over there. A lot of these guys are Portuguese. A lot of these boats are owned by Portuguese individuals, Portuguese Americans.
I got it.
So this was this is my buddy, the surfboarder. But this was a very busy area back in the 1800s. You can see here the tracks for the train that went all the way into the fish, the pier. And they would throw the fish and the whale blubber. Yeah, the tracks went right into that factory. That's where they would pick up all the fish and the blubber from the whales. And this was a huge, yes, this was a huge whaling area. It's still a big fishing area, still a very busy harbor, still a very, very busy pier. So it's still hopping. You can go to Martha's Vineyard from here. You can go to Nantucket with the Sea Trek.
It'll be tough job.
And it really is. So, fisherman is a tough job, Dave.
Well, I know about it.
Let's go over here and let's see if we can get into this factory, like over here, where the trains used to come to take out the fish. Hi. From whales to bales. While the whaling business is still pursued with an energy worth all of praise, the whistle of the steam engine, heard moaning noon and night, tells where the busy hand of labor is at work. So in 1870, they started having the steam engines instead of just sails.
Much better, right? That's powerful steam engine, right? You think?
Yeah. Casks of oil covered with seaweed. Yeah. Look at that.
It's gonna be tough.
This is the Fisherman's Tribute Monument, and this is a fisherman saying goodbye to his wife and kids before he goes out to sea for weeks. You won't see them for a few weeks. Yep. Look at that. Wow. Goodness, this is still a very busy port. And me and Dave decided to get fried clams. Fries. Right, Dave? Nothing like fried clams. One of these bad boys. Look at that. Oh yeah, baby. Whole belly clams. Yeah. From Whaletail Clam Bar. Yeah. So these boats, they must all leave at the same time in the morning, because how would this one get out? Unless Hera moves. And the rest of them move too, and they're pretty big boats. Seawolf. I mean, they're fishing boats. I guess they're not big compared to what the waves are out there in the Atlantic. But still, they're big boats. It isn't like it's a canoe or something. I mean, you have to move all these boats out of the way before this boat right here, the Helena, could get out of the way, or could go out. So Dave, when you eat your clams, you gotta thank these people right here for your clams. Thanks Seawolf or Viking Power for your clams. No, Viking Power is a big ship. That's a big, yeah, that's a like almost like a factory ship. Yeah. Yep. And you've got, let me see, this Viking Power is that is a big boat. I'm sorry. That's big. You could live on that for about a month or so. The Explorer, fairly big ship. Kind of put together with plywood up there. Right there, that's plywood. I'm not too psyched about having plywood on my ship. And you got a little bit of rust here. Yeah. Santa Maria looks good. New paint job. Yeah, this is you know, I'm not too excited about going out on a ship that has rust on it. You know, I mean, it's probably nothing. Rust. Temptress. It must be hell to paint this boat, Dave.
I can only imagine, Marty. All work.
Yep.
All work, Marty.
Well, I think this is about it at the waterfront, Dave. It is, I'll tell you what, because this is a very, very large pier. There are hundreds of boats here, not just a few.
Yeah.
There are hundreds of fishing boats here. And you've got a tug right there. And you've got a barge. Two barges. 1, 2. Right? Well, you can put dirt on them if you're digging up the canal. You can put supplies on them, and a tug will take it out, push it out to where it needs to be. And so we're just going to look over here, because I see this brick building here. Looks pretty old. Looks like it may be one of the original boats. I'll tell you what, Dave. You and I ate good today. We ate very good. We had clams.
Appreciate
We
it.
had clam chowder. You love clams.
Of
And
course.
we had scallops and French fries.
I enjoyed it. Had a good time,
Oh
man.
God! All right.
enjoyed
Well,
it,
it's not
buddy.
over. So let's see what we got here.
Thanks, man.
The Endurance of New Bedford. That's a big boat too.
Please, yeah.
All right, we're gonna go right over here to this brick building, see what that building is. Yeah, this is a very small boat right here. Miss Megan. I know a girl named Megan. Very beautiful woman. Yep, and unlike this boat, Megan's very beautiful, and this boat is just, well, I wouldn't go out in it. Yeah, it needs some work. It needs a little work, Dave. The window is patched with cardboard. Yeah. I don't think so, buddy. I do not think so. This right here, the Emma Nicole, has got to be the smallest boat I've ever seen with an engine in it since the rowboat. I have no idea what they do in this boat, but this is literally the smallest boat I've ever seen. I have no idea, Dave, but it's tiny. What it does, I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. It says Sea Fuels Marine. It might go out and, although where would it store the fuel? I don't know. It's just a very small boat. I don't know what it does. If anyone knows, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll show you a little movie here, Dave. What do you think?
And then going into actually working with clay as a material. My first experience was in high school. I did a whitening journey under.
And again, we are in the museum, the Whaling Museum. And you got some really nice stuff. Look at that, what a beautiful lamp. You got some very beautiful stuff that the people made. Oh, look at the crystal. Oh my goodness, that's nice stuff. And look at this. Wow. Hand-carved chairs. Look at the intricate detail on some of these things. New Bedford, Mass. 4 carved dining chairs from 1890 to 1892. Leander Plummer II, trained as a painter in Paris in 1880s, returned to the U.S. He experimented with wood carving. Well, he did a great job. Look at this. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Look at this stuff. This is some nice stuff.
You get me stuff like that, right?
Dave. There we are. Say hi, Dave. I'm with my bodyguard, Dave Garvin.
Hello. Nice to see you, brother. Okay.
Oh, here's the whale skeletons from another level. It is a good view. You can see the whale skeletons a lot better. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah. Right whales. There's a right whale skeleton. That's what your whales look like, buddy. And here's the bones of whales right here. Shows you how big they are. Please touch. Oh, these are the ribs of whales. Wow, these are thick.
Yeah.
Can you tell the difference? You are encouraged to pick them up. All right. Oh, they're heavy. That's some big ribs, Dave. I've had some ribs in my life that I've eaten, but none of them are that big. The equipment they used to record whales back in the day, this is some pretty primitive equipment as compared to what today's radios look like. Yeah, so they could read whales, what the whales was saying, underwater sounds. They used them, the Navy commissioned these for underwater sound to see what the whale sounded like. And like I said, this is pretty outdated now. Yeah. I mean, this was back in the 40s. This stuff is 40s. That was advanced back then. And you've got, that looks like Tecumseh, the Indian. Oh shoot, I just dropped that. Okay, well, that took a bit. Oh. I don't know what that is. Let's see who this is. You had a station. Oh. All right. here's a beautiful painting. Yeah, it's a beautiful painting. And right here we have Elvis Presley. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Elvis, that's Bartholomew Gosnold. All right. Here's the Puritans meet the Indians. So this had to have been in Plymouth. Here's some old paintings of the way it used to be in New Bedford. The Union Street Railway. Trolley model. New Bedford and Fairhaven Street Railway Company was incorporated in 1872. It was discontinued in 1947 for buses. Probably should have kept that. Yeah. And the mills, lots of, if you know anything about New Bedford, Fall River, lots of mills. With the shift to manufacturing, the nature of work in New Bedford changed as did the city's demographics, while crewmen on whale ships embarked on voyages of up to 4 years long. Wow. Imagine being away from home for 4 years to hunt whales. Mill work provided a steady, if unglamorous, source of employment and community within the city itself. People from England, Ireland, Germany, French, Canada, Poland, Portugal, Azores, Cape Verde, and Syria. Yep. In 1920, a third of all city residents worked in mills. And here's an example of the CR Marketplace and Company mill. Look at that. Look at the size of these mills. These things were huge. These mills were big. Look at the size of it. Nashawena Mills. Wow.
Huge.
And this is an example of what the mills held inside right here. This is back in the old days. Yep.
That's what you call real work.
Yep. That's when it was dangerous work too, and they didn't have workers' comp back then or anything. You got hurt, you were out of work, you're done. They used to just drag your body out. Here's another mill. Now these old mills now that are all abandoned, they are now apartment houses. They've repurposed them. Here's some mills that used cotton, and this is cotton right here. They used to, the cotton right here, they used to bale it. Yeah, organized labor in New Bedford's industrial age, so they finally organized. Yep. 1917, mill owner Arthur R. Sharp gave New Bedford city government an unusual gift, an armored riot vehicle, to take down the people that were organizing, union organizing. Well, I'll tell you what, God bless unions, because if it wasn't for them, a lot of people who are unskilled and uneducated wouldn't have any money at all. They'd be working for practically nothing. Look at the size of these mills. Were huge. The owners of these places were very, very, very rich. The Pearpoint Corporation in 1910. That is a big mill. Yep. Mount Washington Glass Works and Pearpoint Corporation fed 5 tons of coal per day. The furnace ran uninterrupted for years at a time, worked by glass crews around the clock. Wow, look at that. Non-stop for years.
That's crazy.
5 tons of coal every single day, uninterrupted for 5 years. That's how much money they were making. It was non-stop employment. Wow. Non-stop production.
Unbelievable.
Wasmuda Mill. Yep. In 1846, 62 whale ships returned to the port of New Bedford laden with $21 million worth of product. Unbelievable. The New Bedford Steam Company and Wasmeta Mill, through the former quickly closed, Wasmeta thrived and set the stage for a booming new industry of mills in the city. Wow. Coal was big back then. That's how a lot of America heated their homes and these factories, with coal. In America, that's what it was. Whaling, coal, mills.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Different lifestyle.
This is the way it was back then in the 30s, 20s, and 30s. Yep, incredible.
Totally different lifestyle.
It was very, very different. This is the Herman Melville room. Okay, this is going to be a long video, I think, but this is the Herman Melville room, and I think it's important to see this stuff so that we know how America, especially around here in New England, how we lived and what was happening back then. This is what the ships looked like. This is what the mills looked like, and you've got when the guys were out there at sea for 4 years at a time, they would do this. They would take a whale's tooth or a bone, or a tusk, or a rib. And they do scrimshaw and they do other artistic things with it. Some of these guys were artistic, although they had not a lot to do when they had downtime. All right, so look at that. Very talented. Yep. This is the industrial age, how America made a living back then. This is what your bicycles looked like back then, right here. This is a bicycle, your typical bike. Yeah, it's your typical bicycle. Yep. Yeah, made in New Bedford, Mass. This bike was made in New Bedford, yep. This was what it looked like. They did indeed. There was no internet back then, or cell phones.
No internet.
Nope, steamships. Yep. There's some very important guys. I'm not exactly sure who they are, but I'm sure that they were banks. Oh, yep. Well, there are many banks in New Bedford, and I'm sure he was a bank president, and I'm sure he was too. Very wealthy people. Portrait of William Wallace Crapo, oil on canvas. Crapo was a figure in history, and the city has a business interest, like those of Jonathan Bourne Jr. They both bridged both whaling and manufacturing. Crapo was from the old local family that invested in whaling voyages from as early as the 1830s. William, became a lawyer and a founder of the highly successful New Bedford firm, Crapo, Clifford & Clifford. He later served as president of Wamsuta Mills, Potomska Mills, Acushnet Mill Corporation, the Bedford Institution for Savings, Mechanic National Bank, Acushnet Mill Corporation, Potomska Mills Corporation. Additionally, he was the first president of the Old Dartmouth Historical Society. This was a very wealthy man. Yeah, Ching Ching, all right, yep. I don't know who she is, but I'm sure Hetty Green, daughter of a wealthy and successful Quaker New Bedford whaling agent and oil manufacturer. A lot of oil came from Wales. Yeah, so. William Wood, first generation American, born on Martha's Vineyard. His father was Guillermo Madero Silva, immigrated from the Azores on a New Bedford whaling ship. He changed his name to Wood, age of 12. Wood's career in textiles began at Wamsuta Mill. With their New Bedford textile manufacturer, Andrew Pierce took William under his wing, mentored him, and he ran the mill into one of the most dominant companies around. By 1899, William Wood had risen to become a textile magnate, eventually leading a mill conglomerate that became known as the American Woolen Company. So believe me, with no education, this guy did it, and so can't you, people. So can't you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If he can do it with no education, you can do it too. Fairhaven Mills, 1917. So there were a lot of mills. A lot of mills. Oh, this is amazing. Lagoda, New Bedford. A full-sized ship.
What you say, New Bedford?
Lagoda, that's the name of it. Lagoda of New Bedford. And this is a full-sized ship in the middle of a museum. Wow, look at all the sails, Dave. See, they didn't have engines back then. Early 1800s, they didn't have engines, so they had to put, yeah, they had to put sails up. Lots and lots of sails. Well, actually, this isn't a full replica. This is a smaller size, as obvious as, you know, as you can tell from these whaling boats. Now, when these ships would go out to sea, these boats would drop into the water with a bunch of men with harpoons and go out and get the whale and kill them.
Unbelievable, huh?
But this is a smaller version. This is not a full-scale replica. But it's just amazing that they have it in here, even at a quarter of the size of the Lagoda. It's amazing. Yep. Absolutely amazing. Dave?
Yeah?
What are you doing behind this glass? Oh, there you are. Never mind. All right, I thought, never mind.
Hey, buddy.
This is an amazing place. Imagine being on this boat in the ocean. Wow. This is a full-sized whaling boat. And sometimes this happened. But this is the Yankee whaleboat. The most perfect watercraft that ever had floated. is what it looked like. And this is full size. This is right to scale. Yep, this is what they went in to harpoon the whales. Yep. Incredible. Who's that? Dave, is that you? Oh, there you are. All right, I thought. All right, for a minute there. All right. Thank you, Dave,
You're welcome,
for
Marty.
coming
Thank
around
you.
with me to the New
I had a
Bedford
good
Whaling
time.
Museum.
Thank you.
Little educational stuff for my bodyguard
Thank you very much.
about how whaling was done.
We had a great time.
And we did. We ate a lot of clams. Well, Dave did. Dave
That's
loves
the
clams.
clam breath.
Yeah. All right, this isn't that type of channel. But anyways, I just want to thank you, Dave, for coming with me today. And
You're welcome.
I hope everybody enjoyed the, hope you kids all enjoyed the whaling aspect of New Bedford, which is the whaling capital of the world at one point. So with that being said, till the next
Bye.
video, see you later.
All right, see you. Take care.